Hedera Hashgraph or HBAR is one project that I believe is just a little bit ahead of its time, but I'm extremely bullish on long term. And I just realized I haven't made any sort of in-depth video going into Hedera since about 2022. So let's do a recap video, talk about the project, tokenomics, utility, price predictions, all that type of stuff. If you don't know who I am, my name is EQ and I've helped over 1,500 people learn how to trade since 2021. Which, if you want to come trade with me, get access to our community, buy and sell signals, all that type of stuff. You can get access for 3 days for free. And if you hit that link that's in the video or in the description, it'll also give you 50% off your first month. Hedera Hashgraph, which most people refer to it as HBAR, is going to be an L1 solution. And I would consider this to be blockchain 2.0 because it uses a DAG, or what is also referred to as a hash graph. DAG stands for Directed Acyclic Graph, which is just a big fancy term for saying that instead of going block by block, which is what you expect in a standard traditional blockchain, you're going to be able to operate in a more fluid system, which allows for a faster and more scalable solution. HBAR is currently sitting at 16 cents, number 22 on CoinGecko.com, sitting at a market cap of just under 7 billion, with a circulating supply of 42 billion and a max and total supply of 50 billion. So it is finite, it's deflationary, and they are almost fully released in their token supply. So there is not that big of an issue when it comes to dilution. And as you can see, it's actually done decently well in 2025 and 2024 so far, pushing up to about 36 cents or so. And the all-time high is going to be sitting just over 50 cents. When Hedera was originally introduced, they tried to push very hard as an L1 blockchain, but that did not work out very well. And the main reason being was that it was not compatible with EVM or the Ethereum virtual machine. So if you wanted to build on the HBAR blockchain, you were not able to move that into other blockchains and ecosystems. Therefore, it was not an omni-chain or a cross-chain solution, which then in turn loses a lot of interest, and people would rather build on other blockchains and ecosystems that would be more compatible with an omni-chain or a cross-chain solution. So they started to hone in on RWAs, or real world assets, which is just tokenization for real estate, digital assets, and that type of stuff. And there are definitely people using the Hedera ecosystem. You can see transactions in the last 24 hours over 1 million. And this is going to be an open source public network that's governed by leading organizations around the world. This list is stacked. You'll see some of the bigger names across the world. And the projects that are built within their ecosystem are also very strong. But one of the biggest issues, like I was saying, was that there was no compatibility with EVM. Until today, which they unveiled HashSphere, which is a new EVM compatible enterprise blockchain using Hashgraph tech. So basically they're going to be taking another swing at that L1 and a standalone blockchain solution and a blockchain ecosystem that people can build on, but now it's going to be compatible with EVM or Ethereum virtual machine, so that once it's built on HashSphere, it could be moved over to whatever other blockchain and ecosystem that's also compatible with EVM. So I think this is definitely a major bullish macro component going into 2025. It could definitely bring a lot of builders into Hedera and Hashgraph and HashSphere, because now they're going to be able to take advantage of the Hashgraph or DAG technology, which is overall just better and faster than blockchain. You just have to remember that about 6% of the entire world knows about crypto or is invested in crypto in some sort of way. And if I'm being nice, let's say that less than 1% of the world can even explain what a blockchain does in very layman or easy terms. So until people really understand what a blockchain is, they're not going to be able to understand what hash graphs and DAGs and these other things are. But the technology is there and it is much better. So it will be interesting to see kind of how this plays out into the future. And now looking at this from a trading perspective, when you're looking at this on the daily chart going from 2024 of November all the way up to about December 2024, and we double topped going into January of 2025, I put this Fibonacci retracement from low to high so we can track, and we can see that right now based on the retracement, we're sitting in the epic golden pocket, which is a very, very, very strong zone for accumulation and for a strong move to the upside if we can hold support here. Now the first major impulse move took us up about 800%. We created this double top, which is more of a higher high. And at the same time, you can see lower highs in the MACD, which is a sign of a regular bearish divergence, which was our first sign that there was weakness on this chart. And if this does want to play out, because we're in the epic golden pocket, this has a very high probability of going to the TP2 to TP3 area, take profit 2 to take profit 3. And for Hedera in that zone is going to be sitting at about 60 cents to 74 cents. And that's not the all-time high for the super cycle. That is just from this major impulse move and what we've seen so far going into 2024 and 2025. And mind you, there are going to be some speed bumps on the way up. You're looking at these range highs and the all-time high. These are going to be major selling points where people have been waiting to take profit for years now. So I would be expecting to see major selling pressure once we get into these zones. But ultimately, once we break through the selling pressure, get our retracements and SR flips and things like that, and finally break that ceiling, if price wants to get this high, which I do believe that it can in 2025, if we really get into a parabolic altcoin season, I do believe that this could easily get up to the 75 cent range. And once you get up into the zone, you're going to be in price discovery mode. And once you're in price discovery mode, there is no ceiling, so the sky is the limit. We really have no idea where this can go. It all depends on the macros, how much money flows into crypto, the sentiment around HBAR, how many people are using it, and a lot of other factors. Like I mentioned before, if you want to come trade with me or get access to the EPIQ Trading Floor, hit those links in the description. If you found anything useful in this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment if you have any questions. I hope everyone has an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. Let me remind everyone, none of this is financial advice. I'm not paid by HBAR in any way, and I am currently invested in HBAR at the making of this video. So happy trading, stay safe, do your own research, and I will see you around.